Hello, maayong hapon to the followers of the Freeman's Facebook page. I am Vanessa Babuana. It's a Thursday, May 23, and you are watching the Freeman Conversations, where we get to talk about the latest trends and events. Now, this afternoon, we have our guest for today is a medal swimmer, a triathlete, a model, and a recently crowned Miss Mandaue 2019, who is also called the Miss Mandaue Golden Queen because she was the winner for the pageant's 50th edition. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Lorraine Han.
Hello everyone.
Hi Lorraine, thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's an honor.
And you're just fresh from a trip from Bali.
Bali.
Okay. Win or lose, was this a vacation you planned with family or friends?
With my cousin. Yeah, it was planned way before coronation night.
Okay. How many days were you there, and what did you see? What did you do?
I was there for a week, and it was really just to unwind from the stressful pageant.
Okay. By the way, your mom is with you today,
Yes,
and I read she's also a beauty queen, right?
Yeah,
What was her title?
Ginang Alaska 2015 and My Pretty Mama 2014.
Ah, okay. Oh my, that's why she's familiar. Han. Okay,
Yeah.
I know you both probably get this a lot, but you two look like sisters.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
Okay. If you have any questions for Lorraine, you can drop it in our comment section, and we'll gladly read it out for you and pass it on to Lorraine. Okay. First off, let's start from the very beginning. Do you have a nickname, by the way, or
I just go by Lorraine.
Lorraine. Okay. Now, you were born in the United States, in Michigan, specifically.
Yeah.
What do you remember of life back in the U.S.?
I don't really remember because I moved to the Philippines at the age of 5.
Oh.
So most of my memories are made here in the Philippines.
Oh, okay. But as far as you know, what made the family decide to move back here?
We moved back because of my mom's family. My parents decided to come back to the Philippines to join my mom's family.
Okay. Your mom, is a Cebuana.
Yeah, sure.
Your dad is an American.
Yeah, he is.
His name is
Steve
Han. Okay. And how many siblings?
I have one younger brother.
Okay, so duha naman sa family.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were bred, or you grew up here in Cebu since 5 years old.
Yeah.
You attended elementary and high school where?
Ateneo de Cebu.
Ateneo de Cebu, and you will be studying physical
Cebu
therapy
Doctors University.
at Cebu Doc University this coming when does that run?
July 1.
July 1. Okay. When did you begin, or when did you find that you were good at sports?
Actually, at a young age, at the age of, I would say 7, because my dad is also a swimmer, so that's
Okay.
how I got into the sport. I just did swimming for fun, like just something to discover, but then throughout the years, I learned that it's something that I got competitive in, and I just stuck to it.
Okay, your brother is also competitive, or you just
Yeah.
did it for fun? Okay.
Competitive.
Okay. When did you realize that I want to do this in a competitive level and not just for fun?
At around sixth grade when I joined Sibera, because I actually stopped for 2 years. And then in that 2 years, I realized that I did miss the sport and I wanted to go back and come back and hopefully compete nationally. And I was able to achieve that after the age of 12.
Okay. Can you tell us the medals that you won and what competitions?
Well, the ones that I hold really dear to my heart would have to be the Palarong Pambansa last year. It was a bronze medal since it was a national competition. Next would be Prisa. I've been joining Prisa for 2 years, but last year was the first time I won a gold medal. And the rest are just regionals like Sibera, Milo.
Okay. Our sports editor, Manny Villaruel, Sir Manny, also tells us that you have joined triathlons.
I joined triathlon before.
Okay, and have you placed?
Yes, I did. One of the latest would have to be the Polo Triathlon back in 2016 when I won champion. That was in the Polo City. And other than that, it was mostly just finishers or top 3 in Cebu Triathlon that has recently stopped, and Iron Kids just like top 10. Yeah.
Okay. Now going back to swimming, what is really the topmost goal for you?
For me, it had to be winning a medal in Palarong Pambansa because I've been competing for 3 years And last year, I was finally able to bag a medal, though it was in the relay category, but it's still something that I'm really grateful for.
Okay. After Palarong Pambansa, what is your next goal, swimming wise?
I don't really know because I'm planning to stop and shift to triathlon.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have more opportunities there.
Okay. You also are a model under Shutter Model Management under Ravi Ian Pogoy. Hi, Ravi.
Hi, you're watching.
Yeah, because the standard in the modeling industry is usually stick thin, etc. And as a swimmer, you develop broad shoulders. You develop yourself, again, small hips. What initially was that something you were concerned about, or clients were concerned about?
It wasn't really a concern, it was more of an edge because the first designer who ever got me was Oshhofer, and he saw my broad shoulders as an edge among the other models because the gowns fit differently on my physique rather than the other models. And ever since then, I embraced it and I use it as my advantage.
Okay, pageantry. Okay. Asa, when man inisulod ang iyong interest to join pageant? Let's start with the very first pageant that you joined.
Well, the very first pageant I joined was Miss Mandaue back in 2016.
Okay. And you were how old?
15 or 16, around there. And it was something that I had zero interest in. I was just forced to by my mom and my dad and my manager, of course. And ever since then, I told myself that I would never join pageants again because I didn't like the feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have that confidence yet.
What do you mean by, can you elaborate when you say you didn't like the feeling?
I didn't like the feeling of pageants before because I felt like I was forced. It wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was more of my mom's and handler's dream rather than mine. And through the years, I've actually found out that pageants are more to that, especially that I have friends who are beauty queens and they are more into their advocacy. Like I would hear that they would be doing feeding programs or spreading awarenesses. That is something that I would want to try out.
Okay. After Miss Gaisano, you said you didn't like the experience.
No.
If you can, you would not join another one, but you ended up winning three pageants, right? That was Miss Consolation 2017. Miss Estafet 2018 and Miss Governor's Cup 2018. What made you say yes to Miss Consolation?
Well, I actually screened in Miss Consolation last 2016. That was the first time I screened and I got in as an official candidate. But I had to back out a couple days after the screening because I had a lot of swim competitions. I just thought that the schedule was too much. So I screened again the next year, 2017, and I got in again and people kept telling me to just keep going, just keep trying, maybe you could win the crown, and that's what I did. I continued, I had to deal through the whole journey of Miss Consolation since it was running for around 3 months. Yeah, and in those 3 months I realized so much. I realized that pageants are really, it's like they influence people. It's like pageants is a show, it's a performance, and I realized that I have so much to offer in the world of pageantry, and I used to be one of those people who used to look down on it, but I learned that pageantry is really more than just a pretty face and the smartest girl, but rather it is a person who is really true, genuine, and has the purpose of an advocacy to help.
Okay. So when your mother was competing for My Pretty Mama, were you all out support? Because as you said, you looked down on pageants before.
Actually, when she was competing, I was full on. Yeah, I was really supporting her because I knew that it was something that she wanted to do. I knew that she really prepared for that pageant, and of course, as her daughter, all I could do was support, and that's what I did.
What tips or advice did she give you as someone who had been there in the pageantry world?
She actually gave me a lot, but one of them would have to be yourself. Because that is something that's really hard to see on stage. That is something that not all the judges could capture. And that's what I did. I believe that is one of my edges in pageantry is that I love to be myself, especially on stage, in front of the judges, in front of everyone. So that would have to be the top advice she has given me.
And it has served you well,
Yeah, it
apparently.
did.
Okay, now you were winning. You had a winning streak, right? Miss Mandaue, Mrs. Safi, Miss Governor Scott. This gave you then the motivation to screen for Miss Mandaue 2019. Okay, now you had the added pleasure of being candidate number one. You're always the one who were first
Very
out on stage. How was that like?
It was actually really pressuring at first because the way we did the numbering was bato pick. So yeah, it was by height. The tallest would be at the side. So it's either I was candidate number 1 or candidate number 16. But I lost in that challenge. I was candidate number 1. So I remember
the disadvantage of being tall.
Yeah, so I remember I was really sad. I was driving home. I was really upset, and I was really salty about it for a week. I was just really upset. But then after days going by, people would tell me that actually being candidate number 1 is a good thing because you get to set the standards, and you're the first one who always comes out. And that's when I actually got that confidence.
In fact, during the production number where you were all in pink, it seemed like you were the lead dancer because you were in the middle. Now, going into Miss Mandaue, what was your mindset?
My mindset at first, I came in really strong because I had the support from all the people, from my manager, my parents, family, and friends. And then it started to go down, like my confidence level, because it started to hurt that I felt like I could have done better in the pre-pageants, like the fitness competition, in the media's choice, in the swimsuit competition. And that just gave me the fighting spirit to really fight hard during the coronation night.
Okay. Then come coronation night, there were special awards given, and again you did not get any. So when it was time to announce the top 8, was it? Were you like feeling like I have no chance to get into the top 8 because I didn't get a single award, or were you still hopeful at that point?
At that point, to get in the top 8, I was really hopeful because that was one of my goals. But I did believe, the reason why I saw myself being part of the top 8 was because I felt like I always ended up on the upper half of every competition. Like, though I'm not the winner of that competition, at least I'm on the upper half. And I think what really gave it away was the prejudging.
Okay, you did well during the prejudging, Okay, because you mentioned feeling down because you felt you stuttered during the media's choice competition, but I think you were a picture of confidence during the casual interview and the final Q&A during coronation night. So what changed for you?
Well, actually, the questions that I had during the casual interview and final Q&A weren't questions that I prepared for. Unlike in the media's choice, we were given all these topics, and I really studied for that. But in the final coronation night, there's no more studying. It's like, that's where your true self comes in. And I've also practiced a little bit through my delivery, the way I deliver my Q&A, because that's something that I had a hard time in during media's choice.
Okay. Being a Miss Mandaue candidate, you are in the spotlight, you are in the limelight. What had been the most hurtful criticism, I would say, that you read or got, if any?
I think it would have to be, one of them would have to be the comment about my structure, that I have broad shoulders and that I'm only going to make it in modeling and not in pageantry.
Okay, now you've proved them
Yeah.
all wrong. Okay, your first runner-up is Amanda Basilio, and your second runner-up is Giselle Saniel. Hi to the two lovely ladies. Now, Gabriela Carvalho last year said that when they were crowned, right on that very stage, they held hands and they made a vow to themselves that we will try to be the best Miss Mandaue court that we can be. What are the plans for the three of you? Have you talked already?
We haven't yet because our first official function will be tomorrow at the Mandaue Presidencia. That is the Gabi sa Pavilion. And that's our first function together. And maybe we could sort of talk, but I've been on the phone with Gabby and she said that she would want us to continue her green wave, and that is something that we would want to do since there's already a foundation. And hopefully if we can get that right, then we could also implement our own, especially that me and my second runner-up have really similar advocacies.
Giselle, which
Yeah.
is youth education.
Yeah.
Okay, why that advocacy?
The reason why I chose youth education is because of my mom. Since she is a beauty queen, her advocacy was also youth education. And when I got into the role of pageantry, I didn't know what an advocacy was. I didn't have any knowledge. So I asked my mom, what's an advocacy and what's yours? And that's where I sort of picked up the idea of getting youth education.
Okay, because I read that you before joining Miss Mandaue, you've already been doing tutorials in barangays and feeding programs.
Feeding programs,
Okay.
yes, after Miss Consolation.
Okay, by tutorials, what exactly do you teach these kids in this brief amount of time?
Well, my target are actually those who are underprivileged, those street children who don't have the resources they don't have the resources to go to school. So I want to teach them how to read, write, basic math, just basic education, since they don't have access to that.
Okay, Lorraine, you happen to be the successor of a winner, a Miss Mandaue winner, who has been sort of historic because
Yeah.
she is the first Miss Mandaue winner who actually proposed projects and work on it. Because the past Mandaue winners, sadly, just after being crowned, did not really follow it up with a project. So
Yeah,
you
true.
are expected to really push through with an advocacy project.
Yeah.
Now, I understand you're given funds.
Yeah,
to
we're given a
implement.
budget.
How much is it? Would you know?
I'm not, no, we
No,
don't.
okay.
It's only this year, because last year Gabby said that they didn't have a budget, so Gabby, Regina, and Nicole would have to put in their own
Okay.
money.
Now, how do you so far how do you plan to implement your advocacy project? Like, will this happen during weekends? How will you target the kids that you will be hold tutorial sessions with, etc.?
So we would try to do it at least once or twice a month. And I'm still going to talk about it with my court since we haven't really talked about it yet. And what I want is that it's going to be twice a month, and it's going to start out with a tutorial session and then a feeding program. Because in most feeding programs I've served, usually what you do before are parlor games or singing, dancing performances. But I want it to be more productive, and I really do want to teach children, since I don't think that games are enough to get their attention. What I think is more productive is that you really implement a tutorial session, because it's more productive that way. And after that would be followed by a feeding program.
What specific subjects are you targeting? Reading,
Reading, and math. Those are the two that I have in mind, but I'm open to more suggestions.
Okay.
Yeah.
You will be enrolling in physical therapy at Cebu Doctors University, and you
Yes.
talked about wanting to take up PT because you want to help injured athletes recover, because you know how it feels not to be able to compete because of injury.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that? Did you have an injury before?
Just minor ones like sprains. Sprains is all I can come up with, but yeah, and it's really sad that there are some athletes out there who have big dreams, who have big goals, but they can't be able to achieve that because of an injury as small as a sprain. And that is something that I do want to help out with. I want to give the athletes hope that you can still achieve all your dreams, because they are people with really big visions. Because I know that most athletes want to be on the national team and want to get in big universities like Ateneo de Manila, Ateneo de Manila or La Salle, to name a few. And that is what I want to do.
Okay.
I took a physical therapy.
So, for other people, it's not just the fulfillment of being an athlete or a swimmer. Sometimes it's where it's their scholarship. It depends on it, right? Okay. Would you happen to know Kamabili actor MShombi?
Familiar.
Familiar. Okay. So he is an ABS-CBN actor. He was a former competitive swimmer and a former member of the national swimming team. Now he has been to Cebu countless times, and we've interviewed him. He came up with this Handog Palangoy program where he gathers kids, especially he targets those indigent kids and kids with autism, and he teaches them basic swimming lessons and water safety for free. Now, in one interview that I had with him, he said that it's ironic now, he finds it ironic that our country is surrounded by water.
Mhm.
But not a lot, it's not part of our curriculum daw to learn. Dili daw part sa atong curriculum ang basic swimming and water safety. And that's why he does that. Teach Indigenous kids for free swimming. Is that something you'd like to do also in the future? Maybe start with Miss Mandaue and then your hometown.
Yeah, that's something I want to do because actually last summer while I was preparing for Palaro, I would also be open to swimming lessons in Ateneo de Cebu. We would teach kids how to swim because most of the kids who are enrolled are asthmatic, and then swimming is part of their practice lesson that. And it is just something that I enjoy doing because I believe that I thought at first that teaching kids how to swim was actually something hard and tiresome because kids won't listen to you.
Oh, yeah.
But I actually learned that it really depends on like the way you teach them. You have to be on their level. You have to make sure that what you're teaching them actually sinks in, because that's the hard part about swimming. Because today they know how to swim, the next day they're gonna forget everything. So it's gonna be a challenge if ever I were to push through with that. But that's something that I would be open to, that I would want to do.
Swimming is not only something we do for fun; it is a survival skill.
It is.
And Ensham also mentioned that it's not really the fulfillment that he gets in teaching kids. It's the thought that these kids, when someone visits them, the feeling that someone cared for us. Okay. And also he mentioned, would you happen to know, is this also swimmer Akiko Thompson? Is that someone familiar? Akiko daw, one time went to his hometown in Naga City and had a talk. And maybe that talk was just maybe part of another schedule of Akiko, but seeing her in person inspired him to become a swimmer and represent the country internationally. So I think with the platform that you have, the Miss Mandaue crown that you have, I think you will also influence a lot of those who would like to be an athlete like you.
Yeah, because there are not a lot of beauty queens who are athletes.
Yes, yes. Swimming idols.
Most of them are international, like part of the Olympics. Like of course you have Michael Phelps, and forgot the name of the rest. I can't think of them right now because I just see them on video. I don't really remember their names. But yeah, I do have some who are international.
Okay. What has sports taught you? Aside from discipline or teamwork, how has it shaped the woman that you are right now?
It all comes down to time management because when I was an athlete, I had to balance it with school, I had modeling, and I also had pageantry. So with swimming, especially that what I'm doing is actually competing nationally. So I have to invest a lot of time in swimming, and plus I'm taking up a tricky strand or a hard strand, which is STEM. So he really taught me how to manage my time properly, especially with the amount of hours of sleep, just everything in general. So it's really all about time management.
Okay, let's move on to pageantry again this time. Okay, Kinsa, which beauty queen do you look up to the most, and why?
Catriona Gray, definitely. There are lots of reasons why I look up to her, but to name a few, it would have to be how thoughtful she is. She's really creative, and she really thinks about the message that she wants to send out to the people, especially having all the meanings behind why she chose this dress, why this dress is red because it symbolizes the lava in Albay, and I feel like everything she has was just really strategic, and she's also a fighter. Like,
she didn't leave anything to chance.
Yeah. I know that she really wanted that crown. She was really all in for it. And the best part among all that is that she's really charming. She's really beautiful. So it's really hard to see a person who's really hardworking, who's really all in, and at the same time she could also be really charming and beautiful.
Okay. What's been the biggest mentor that you had aside from your mom, and what was the best advice that you got?
Definitely Ravi, since Ravi was one of the people who pushed me to join Miss Mandaue. And the best advice is it's really cliche, but laban lang. But there's a reason behind that. every time I'm feeling down, every time I feel like giving up, like backstage, like I feel like I want to give up Miss Mandaue. Rabbi just tells me laban lang, it means fight hard. And that is something that I always listen to because, or more or less on a daily basis, Rabbi always texts me like, do your best, fight harder, laban lang, and that has given me so much hope actually. Like I know it's really, it's the little things that matter.
Aside from not winning any award, what gave you insecurities? What was getting you down?
Aside
From not winning any P-pageant awards?
It would have to be me not believing in myself because it's actually the people around me who have believed in me more than myself, and it's just really hard because you know I'm the person who's in this, and I'm also the reason why I'm looking down on myself because my confidence level isn't as high compared to the other candidates. Because some of the candidates, it's like every rehearsals, they show up as if it's coronation night already. But for me, it's not like that. There's some days where I'm feeling down. There's some days where I question myself why I'm here. And yeah.
Okay. Lorraine, you are already beautiful and sexy as you are right now.
Thank you.
But this is an era in the beauty pageant industry where everyone seems to have had something done, even if there's nothing wrong with them. Okay. What if you do reach that next level of pageantry and someone encourages you to have something done? Is that something you're open to do?
It's something I would consider because you know how everyone is entitled to feel beautiful, and if that change makes me feel more beautiful, makes me embrace myself, then it's something that I'm willing to do. But I don't have any plans yet.
Okay. You're still 18. You still have a long way to go. Is this something you'd like, pageantry, is this something you'd like to take all the way to Binibini Pilipinas? Do you see yourself joining Binibini Pilipinas? And what year, possibly?
I actually do, but that's after I graduate from med school.
So layo pa dyan,
Yeah,
no?
very far. But I need so much training for that because I know I'm very far.
Okay. Celebrity crush.
Shawn Mendes.
Okay. I know your mom's here, but boyfriend or no boyfriend?
I do have a
I do.
boyfriend.
Oh, okay. So ano lang, what attracted you to the guy that you have right now?
Basically how supportive he is. He's really, really supportive in everything that I do. He has helped me throughout my whole Miss Mandaue journey because I know there are times where I can't reach out to my parents, I can't reach out to my handler, that all I have is my phone, and he's always online. So he's the person who I tell my problems to, who I really open up to, and he gives me so much support, and that's something that I really do appreciate.
Okay. You will be earning more fans being the beauty queen that you are. Is he willing to share you with many admirers?
I don't know, probably.
Okay. Lorraine, there will be a lot of girls watching you right now who might be inspired to be like you in the future. You know, question how to be you po. So, what would you tell young girls who aspire to reach the success that you have right now?
It would really have to be never give up because I know that once you set your mind on something and then there are lots of challenges on the way, you just tell yourself that you can't do it anymore. But really, I don't think so. Because if you really want something, you would go all the way just to get it. And so the really cliche advice I would give is to never give up. And it's something that got me to where I am today.
Okay. Lorraine, by the way, what does a swimmer or model like you eat on a daily basis? I'm just curious. Is this body something you have to have a diet for, or does it come naturally because of your activities?
Yeah, probably
You can consume whatever you want. You eat whatever you want.
Yeah, I can eat whatever I want.
Oh my god. So you eat rice, you eat soda, you eat junk food. So it's just a matter of your exercise. Okay, how to be you po talaga. Okay. Is there anyone you'd like to thank right now for your Miss Mandaue journey? This is your chance to do so.
Okay, since I wasn't given the chance to thank the people behind my success during coronation night, because that wasn't my question, I would want to say thank you to everyone, especially my parents, my manager, my Shutter Models family, my friends, and to all the people who I thank on my Facebook post. So thank you to everyone, especially to all the supporters out there. It really means a lot to me that there are also people who see potential in me and people who basically believe in me.
Okay. Gabriela Carvalho had a really heartwarming farewell speech during your coronation, right? And it was also the first time that someone did a farewell speech and live like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Did she give you any words of wisdom? Did you ask her for any advice on how to go about being Miss Mandaue?
Not yet, since I haven't gotten the chance to, but if I were given the chance to speak face to face or have a little talk with Gabby, then there would be a lot I would want to ask because she is one of the most historic Miss Mandaue. She really set the standards high for my court, and it's something that I want to get close to, especially this year that it is the golden year. Expectations are higher.
Yes.
So I would really want to ask a lot of advice from her and her court.
Okay. I wonder also, Lorraine, what traits did you get from your American father, and what traits would you say that makes me that I am Filipino?
The traits that I got from my dad is mostly physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your height.
Yeah, and also people tell me that I look more American than Filipino. But I think that most of the traits I have inside of me is Cebuana since I've been here most of my life and I'm really close to my mom. So most of the habits are Filipino, like the hospitality, that's Filipino.
Okay. When you don't have a modeling gig, when you were not practicing for swimming, where can we see you, by the way? What do you do? What's the other side of you?
Going out with my friends around the mall. Yeah,
Mall.
just whoever is not busy.
Mall rat.
Yeah.
Okay. Lorraine, do our viewers have any questions for her so far? Okay. It's been so lovely chatting with you today. We wish you well in your full year reign. We will be checking up on you. Okay. Once again, thank you so much for gracing our office today. And once again, this is Vanessa Balbuena, our guest for today, Miss Mandaue 2019, Lorraine Han. Join us again for another edition of the Freeman Conversations.